I'm Brustman at Coon Rapids High School here. Today, we're going to go ahead and cut the raised panel of a door. Here we have one that's completely finished to slide in. We have the cove here with a undercutter, which is giving us the 1/4 inch surface. So this is what the panel will look like as it's finished. Here we have our panel uncut. We've got it cut to the actual size that we calculate that we need for the panel. You'll notice that I have an X marked in the face here. So this will be the piece that we're going to cut. We'll set that over there for right now. This is the bit that we have here on the 3-headed shaper. This bit is about a 5-inch diameter, rather large. So we're going to need to go ahead and make sure that we've got this set up. Right? The first thing that I will do, which we've already done, is I have checked to see if my fence is set up. And I do that by taking a straight edge, and I'm looking for the straight edge to hit the fence, the bearing, and the fence, which we've got this set up. Most of the time when you come over to this machine, more than likely that part is going to be done for you. Now the problem that we've got is this is a very large bit. To take all of this material in one pass is rather large. Actually too large, so we're not going to want to do it all in one pass. So what we've got is we've got a series of fence pieces that we can slide on here. Okay, this one goes on first. Okay. And we slide that on, and that's basically like moving our fence forward, preventing us from taking such a deep cut. We then have a secondary piece that can go over, and we're taking a much shallower cut. Right? And as each pass, I'll remove one of these layers until I'm down to the bare fence. Right? So we're going to go ahead and put these fences on. You'll notice that we've got some pre-drilled holes. What you want to do is slide it until you find the existing hole. And we can certainly just screw this right to the fence. All right. We have that one in. We'll go ahead and slide the next one in. And again, find your existing holes. So we've got this set up. Now the only thing that I want to do is, and I want to make sure that when I'm going to reach in around the bits that my power's off, I'm going to push the E stops. Okay. We do have the circuit breaker up on the bus bar, which can go ahead. And I'm just going to use my pen, and I'm just going to push this. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that this rotates, that my fences that I put on are not going to prevent the bit from being able to turn. In other words, I've got it adjusted right. If your bit turns freely with the fence on, that means that your height is basically going to be right. We've got that set up. And again, if nobody's messing with the setup, more than likely the height of the bits are probably going to be okay for you, but you do need to check those. All right. We'll go ahead and put our fingerboard over the top here. Will help hold it down. Also acts as a little bit of a guard. All right. Now, Again, I will go through face down. Now here's the problem that I've got. Okay? Right now with these two fence pieces on, I can't take too deep of a cut. When I get down to the bottom, I want to make sure that I'm using a push block behind it up against the fence, because that will ensure that I'm keeping this square and not tipping into the bits. Alright? Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and make a cut. So I'll take my E-stops, make sure my E-stops are good and clear here. Ready to go. We'll go ahead and turn it on. So I come up to speed. Alright? To a stop, and then we'll go ahead, remove one fence, and pass it through again. Okay, so we've got the first layer loose. We'll take that off. And now I'll go ahead and put my fingerboard back. And we can go ahead and make the next cut. Second cut done. It's gone a little bit deeper. We're starting to get most of the true form. Basically, the next cut, all that's going to do is extend this cut out a little bit further in. So we'll do the same thing. Bring it to a stop. Go ahead and remove the last layer and make our final cut. All right, so we've got the screws out on the last layer here. So we'll take the last layer off. Put that on the ground out of the way. And we'll go ahead and put our fingerboard back. Now, here, we don't have anything that's going to span across here, so we got to rely on hitting that bearing being against. So this is the possibility where we have of tipping into the bit. So we want to make sure that we're using that push block behind it, so that we're not going to tip into the bit. And we have a bit large enough piece. Now, with this one here, I also like to have the fingerboard out just a little bit, so that when we're making the cut, my fingerboard is here against the flat surface and not so much up on the edge where it wants to tip it up. So I like to have approximately about a ½ inch between the fingerboard and the fence to ensure that it's out far enough, plus, okay, it's out far enough well beyond the bit as well. Alright, so we've got the fingerboard on, we're ready to go to make this final cut. Go ahead and turn it on. Our final cut done. We've got a nice even going all the way around. Here's my face. Got the undercut. Now we're ready to go ahead and try our dry fitting with all of our pieces.